A surprise greeting, years in the making, as 123 political prisoners are released from prisons in Belarus, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Bialiatski.
Well, this morning, late at night, I was still in prison. I was there in completely different conditions, on a bunk, in a room with almost 40 people. And now I'm free. Of course, the feeling, considering I spent 4.5 years in prison in such conditions, is still somewhat unclear to me. But I think I'll get used to it quickly enough, accepting reality, the fact that I'm free, that I'm in a free country.
He and other prominent opposition figures among those released to Lithuania and Ukraine. The U.S. Special Envoy John Cole says this brings the total release to around 300, and he says 1,000 more could be released in the next few months. For this exchange, the U.S. agreed to remove sanctions on potash, a key ingredient in fertilizer. Cole says once the others are freed, all U.S. sanctions will be lifted.
One has to remember that almost all the sanctions that the United States put on Belarus were because these prisoners were put in prison. So as the prisoners are released, the sanctions are released as we go down that road.
But former Belarus diplomat Pavel Slunkin says it's about more than that.
Because the sanctions were imposed not just for political prisoners. They were imposed for falsifying elections. They were imposed for hijacking their international flights. They were imposed for participation in the war against Ukraine, and so on and so on. The repression is still happening.
Across the board, those released told reporters they will continue to fight against the Belarus president, Alexander Lukashenko's government. And the leaders say Europe needs to help.
European sanctions might be left for bigger issues, for irreversible and systematic changes in Belarus, because only today about 10 people have been declared as extremists in Belarus. So this process of repression is continuing, but our aim is to stop.
A renewed mission now more opposition leaders are free to pursue from abroad. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.